Okay, let's take a look at problem 2 using rational equations. It says a flight across the U.S. takes longer east to west than it does west to east. Assume that winds are constant in eastward directions. When flying westward, the heavy wind decreases the airplane's speed. When flying eastward, the tailwind increases its speed. The time for a round trip shown at the right is 7 and 3/4 hours. If the airplane cruises at 480 miles per hour, what is the speed of the wind? So we want to find out the speed of the wind. And so we say let x be the speed of the wind. And rate is distance equals rate times time. Or we can say time is equal to distance over rate. And that's what we have. We have time. So let's set it up where we have time is equal to distance over rate. All right, so my rate would be 480 plus x for going west to east, and east to west it'll be subtracting because it's a hindrance, so that'll be subtracting. And so time would be my rate over my distance. So distance one way was 1850 and distance the other way would be 1850. And so when we set up our equation, we get 7.75 over 1850 divided by 480 plus x plus 1850 over 480 minus x. And so my least common, well, they say it here, they're so smart. The least common denominator is 480 plus x and 480 minus x. And so if I multiply everything by this, I get 480 plus x times 480 minus x times 7.75. And then here, when I multiply, notice my 480 plus x and 480 plus x will cancel out. Here, my 480 minus x and 4 minus x will cancel out. And so I have 7.75 times 480 plus x and 480 minus x equals 1850 times 480 minus x plus 1850 times 480 plus x. So a lot to work out, but we're going to do it, or they did it for us. So when we multiply everything out, this is what we get. I won't read it all out to you. And then when I want to get x squared on one side, actually I would have tried to get everything on one side, but they already was able to see that my x's cancel out. Oh, and I can see that too. My x's cancel out. So let's get my x squared on one side and everything else on the other. When I divide it by 7.75, they didn't show that answer, but we take the square root and we get plus or minus 35. So the wind is positive. So our speed is positive. So we get 35 miles per hour. Oh no, sorry. So, and that's a possible answer because if I plug in 35, it is not a solution where it's going to be an invalid solution. Okay, so let's go on to part, got it. It says, you ride your bike to the store 4 miles away to pick up things for dinner. When there's no wind, you ride at 10 miles per hour. Today your trip to the store and back took 1 hour. What was the speed of the wind today? So, again, we are going to use the fact that time is equal to distance over rate. And our time that we were given was 1 hour, excuse me. And we know that going one way was 4 miles. That's my distance. And my rate would be 10 miles per hour plus my wind that I don't know. I'm sorry. It's that x is wind speed, so it's like part 1 miles per hour. Plus the distance coming back is 4 miles. We have 10 miles per hour minus x miles per hour. Okay? So our least common denominator, I'm sure you can guess, because if you've gone with me through all of these problems and from this lesson, you know that it is, I'm going to have to lose because I am definitely going to run out of space if I don't. So I'm going to say 10 plus x and 10 minus x. And I will add the miles per hour back after we're done. But I know for a fact I will not be able to keep the miles per hour on there. So I'm going to lose the units. Don't worry, it still works out. Okay, so when I multiply that through, for the first one, 1 times 10 plus x times 10 minus x is just 10 plus x times 10 minus x. Now, this is miles per hour. Notice this is hours, so my hours would have canceled out, and I'll be left with just miles. This would be 10 miles plus x miles times 10 miles minus x miles, just for your information. Here, my 10 plus would have crossed out, and I'll be left with just 4 miles times 10 minus x. And then again here, a minus would have crossed out, and I would be left with 4 times 10 plus x. Does it matter which one I put before the other? Absolutely not. It does not matter. So now I multiply, and I get 100. Trying to think if I should multiply it all out. I'll multiply it all out. So I get minus 10x plus 10x minus x squared. But we should also see that this is a difference of squares. And so I get 40 minus x plus 40 plus 4x. And so my 10x's comes out. And 100 minus x squared equals, oops, this is supposed to be a 4x. My x's cross out, equals 80. So I'm going to subtract 100 from both sides. And I get, I'm going to come over here, negative x squared equals negative 20. So I get x squared, divide both sides by negative 1, is 20. Take the square root of both. Let's put in our calculator to see what that is. I get 4.47. Plus or minus. We know it's dealing with rate. So 4.47 miles. Told you I would add it back per hour. So the wind speed would be 4.47 miles per hour. I think there was one more part. It says, explain why there's no difference between travel time to and from the store when there is no wind. So if there's no wind, there's nothing holding you back when you're going in one direction, and there's nothing pulling on you. So, and then there's nothing pushing you going in the other direction. So that's why there's no difference when there is no wind speed. I hope this helps.